what's Carlo Ancelotti's message to him? Because this is a superstar player walking into a very tight team and a team that are already champions, double champions this season.
I think the only message that Ancelotti has to make clear to Mbappe is that he's walking into a team. And the success that we've had, yes, we have individuals who can win games for us, but the reason we have won not only the Champions League but our domestic league is because we are a team, we are a unit. We're not about individuals, we're about us together. That's the only thing. Because as far as the game's concerned, the guy's frightening. On his day, I don't care who you are, you can't stop him. So it's nothing to do with football, it's to do with what goes on between his ears. And if he can turn this guy into a huge, big-time team player, then there'll be no stopping Real Madrid.
Because by all accounts, Shaka, the guys at Real Madrid already, obviously they're not going to say any different, but they do seem to be very excited about welcoming Kylian Mbappe.
And who wouldn't be? Kylian Mbappe is arguably the best player in world football, joining arguably the best team in world football. And who wouldn't welcome that? And the biggest club in world football. And I say that because I felt, and while you understand Kylian's thinking of 2 years ago with the U-turn that Jules just mentioned, wanted to stay in Paris, he's a Paris boy, I just felt that this was the club that Kylian needed. And while France moved heaven and earth, and I say France moved heaven and earth to keep Kylian Mbappe in French football, with good reason, I feel that he needed to move on from that. And now, despite what it may be costing Real Madrid, certainly in terms of wages and in terms of how much more he's making than everybody else, the club remains the most important thing at Real Madrid. Great players, Galacticos come and go, but Real Madrid somehow manages to maintain this mystique, this aura about them, that I think will do Kylian Mbappe the absolute world of good. And all the players are coming out and saying all the right things about his joining for footballing reasons. Because they understand what the club means, they understand what it will mean to a player like Kylian Mbappe and what a player like Kylian Mbappe means to that team. I think it's perfect, if not a little overdue.
So, Jules, how do they line up? We've put you to task here to give us a starting 11 with Kylian Mbappe in it at Real Madrid.
Yeah, and we will start with the simplest one in a way, which is to keep the same formation, the 4-4-2 with the diamond midfield that they've used for most of this season, with Bellingham at the top of the diamond as a number 10. And the two forwards this season have been Vinicius and Rodrigo. You take out Rodrigo, I know it's sad for him, and you put Kylian in there. The rest stay the same. You've got your three midfielders behind Bellingham, Vinicius and Kylian, in Valverde, Camavinga and Tchouaméni, for example, and then your back four and Courtois in goal. This is probably the easiest way for Carlo to just bring in Mbappe, not changing too much. Okay, it's harsh for Rodrigo because he's had a good season, but that's the way things happen in football. The other one that you could think of is, you know, maybe a more attacking formation, let's say. Let's move to a 4-3-3, for example, where you have a front three of Vinicius, Rodrigo and Mbappe in the middle. Then you drop a little bit deeper for Bellingham, who can play in a free role if you want, starting in the midfield three, on the left, for example, with Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Valverde, Camavinga, Valverde, whatever the options, but three of the four midfielders will start. And then that makes, you can also play Rodrigo with Vinicius and Mbappe, for example, or Brahim on the right, or Arda Güler, whoever you want to play. That gives you maybe a more attacking lineup that you can play maybe against weaker side in La Liga or in the Champions League. But I feel like the 4-4-2 with the diamond midfield feels the easiest way for Carlo Ancelotti to just bring Kylian in without changing too much and everybody was settling.
Which is the scarier lineup, do you think, Luis?
The scary, of course, is the second one when you got all the firepower up front. But I'm not going to be defending there. I mean, I'm sure that the concerns are who's going to be defending. So, I mean, Valverde, of course, they are fantastic players, or even Camavinga. They can do the work in the middle of the park, but you need a little bit of balance. And if you're going to use Bellingham plus three strikers, even though the Rodrigo does a little bit of work for Real Madrid, he's just too aggressive. I agree with Jules that in some games you can use that when you know that you're going to be dominant, that the team is going to sit at the back, but definitely it's a really attacking team. And we've seen this season Real Madrid where many of the games has been sitting back with a low block when they play against teams that they can have a good transition. I don't see that happening very often. So I will go for the first one where the balance is a little bit more with a lot of players into the midfield that can give you that extra work. Camavinga, Tchouaméni, Valverde, 3 young players hungry to be important for Real Madrid, and then you can give the freedom up front. It's true that Rodrigo, it's been a lot of rumors. He mentioned just a few days ago that Manchester City was the best team, and maybe it started the links and the rumors. So we'll see what happens during the summer. It's a long summer still. So I'm sure that we're going to have more news, and Real Madrid is going to be looking for, of course, get even stronger in the midfield.
You know, I don't think we should underestimate how important it is for Madrid and Mbappe that it's Ancelotti that's in charge. Because it's one thing to look at teams on paper. Did they play a 3 when Mbappe through the middle? Did they play with 2? The fact is that both Vinny and Mbappe are still talking about how they prefer to come from a wide position. And so the fact that Ancelotti is still there, I think is huge. I mean, is there anybody else that would be able to persuade Mbappe or Vinny Jr. that they can play more central? I think the only one that's capable of doing it is Ancelotti. So Real Madrid are lucky that Ancelotti's still there.